Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I felt like it was time to do another tea time talk. I've only done one so far, and a tea time talk video series is basically where I'm kind of diving in deep on one subject. I like to dive in deeper with you guys through like Q&As, but that's always like various questions. These videos feel like an opportunity to just focus on one topic. I am drinking some elderberry and ashwagandha tea. I am obsessed. It is an incredible adaptogen. I have some linked in my Amazon store if you want to try it yourself. But I love to read the little tea tags. So this is one of the yogi teas, and they have little messages on the tea tag, and this one says, "Travel in grace, knowing that you are protected by love." Cheesy but cute. So the topic I wanted to share or dive into with you is moving beyond fear. I just got back from a solo backpacking trip, and it's something that I'd been wanting to do for years. It was during my birthday weekend. I just turned 33. I have been wanting to do a solo backpacking trip for so long, and I was just afraid. I was afraid. It felt really intimidating. You know, I've been a few times, a handful of times. It's not like I am an expert backpacker, but I have experience with it, and I just had this call to go solo, and I felt especially intimidated by the idea of doing that without a dog. I don't know why. I just felt like I would feel safer if I had a bigger dog. I love Paris. You don't know, Paris is my cute little Maltese, but he's not exactly the type of dog that makes you feel safe out in the wilderness. Not to mention he's like 17 years old and could not hike at all. So I had all these little stipulations of, okay, well maybe one day I'll have a big dog, or maybe when I've gone on this many trips I'll feel better, or maybe when I have all the gear. Like I just had all of these barriers I was putting on myself on why I wasn't ready to go on a solo trip. And I wasn't the only one, right? You know, we live in this society where so often women are told not to do things because it's dangerous, because they're a woman. And yes, of course, there is some truth to that. I understand. I really do. And at the same time, I just feel like we need to push past that. So I'm not exactly on here to encourage everyone to solo backpack. That's not really what this is about. It's really, the topic is about moving beyond fear. And I just really think we have these inner callings or inner knowings within us that are asking us to step out of our comfort zone. You know, for me, one of them was this solo backpacking trip. And what is like standing in my way is myself, and being afraid of the unknown, of not having all the answers and will it work out? And so that doesn't go away, and that's okay. I think the choice is to still move forward, because it's not about saying, hey, I'm no longer afraid. It's about moving through it. It's about continuing to walk through, listening to those inner knowings, listening to those inner callings, and moving through the fear and still choosing to walk through it. And that is where we have the opportunity to trust ourselves, the opportunity to step into our own power, the opportunity to trust in the universe or God or Great Spirit or whatever your definition is, to know that those callings are there for a reason. The unknown is scary, but there are so many lessons, so much room for growth and experience. And I think the stepping stones to who we're meant to be, where we're meant to go, all of that exists within the unknown. And so if we can make the choice to do things scared and to move forward and embrace the unknown, I just really think there is so much beauty in that and so much life on the other side. If those bigger, unknown things that are calling you feel overwhelming, I also think this can be a practice. I think this can be something we can build up. We can do the little things that scare us and build self-trust with those little things through practice. And then the more that builds, the more those bigger, scarier things that are calling us in the unknown, those feel less scary. We've developed a stronger sense of trust. We know that we've got ourselves. Yes, we can take on those bigger ones now. So maybe you have this inner calling to start your own business or to take that trip you've been wanting to go on. Maybe it's a solo trip too. Maybe it's about just decorating your home in the way that feels good for you, or wearing clothes that are bold, that feel like you instead of what you assume people expect you to wear, or doing your hair. Maybe you want to dye your hair bright rainbow color. I'm just saying, it could be big things, it could be small things. There's all different levels of fear that can hold us back. And I still think, and I still believe, walking through the fear in those situations is the same, no matter what kind of level of fear it is. For the solo backpacking trip, I was really, really afraid. I made every excuse to not go, not even just over the last few years. Like the week of, I kept trying to come up with scenarios that made it so I couldn't go. I had a movement session scheduled, and I was like, oh, I cannot reschedule that. But if I hadn't rescheduled it, then the timing of it wouldn't have worked out for the backpacking trip. So I reached out, and she was incredibly supportive, and we rescheduled, and it was amazing, and it was fine, and it worked out. The other obstacle was my mom was also backpacking that weekend, and I usually borrow most of her things because I only have so much backpacking gear and she's got everything. I told her that. She's like, nope, we will figure it out. And we did. So I borrowed stuff from her, I borrowed stuff from my dad, I borrowed stuff from a friend, and I had everything I needed. And just the overall fear, just talking through that with my friend and settling into it and moving beyond it and doing it anyways. I remember getting to the trailhead, just here we go, one foot in front of the other. And it was just literally one foot in front of the other, which I know is what actually happened, but I think is a metaphor as well of walking through the fear. You just keep going. You don't need to know every single step along the way. It's just one foot in front of the other. What is the next step? And you take that step. Yeah, I had some uncomfortable moments on that trip. It was intense in a lot of different ways. And also it was so beautiful and so empowering. And honestly, I felt like a badass. Just felt so strong. And I think those are the things that come up when we choose to take those chances and to be brave, even when we're feeling afraid. These are my thoughts. These are my thoughts about walking through the fear. And I would absolutely love if you all wanted to join in on the conversation in the comments below. Maybe if there are stories you can share about the times you walked through the fear. It could be little, it could be big, whatever you feel comfortable or called to share. These videos, I really encourage it to be a communal conversation where we can connect and just support each other. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.